YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and we are going to be jumping in to some more Warhammer 2 online action. We're going to have Skaven taking on Norska. So, both these filthy armies going at each other. Let's check out the Norskan army here. The Frostworm is a pretty sweet looking unit there. A couple Marauders. Center line of Berserkers. These guys going to be good. We got a couple Marauders up front too. So Wulfrik the Wanderer riding this Chaos Steed here, and then there's a couple of Marauder Javelinmen in the back with a Shaman Sorcerer, Lore of Fire. I haven't turned on all my settings to show us the yeah, because I had reinstalled the game trying to fix a crash, so I don't have the little unit info card up to the side like I normally do. Let's just check out a few other things here. We got the Skaven over here with a couple of Warp Lightning Cannons. They're going to target the Frostworm. It's a good idea. And let's see, in terms of infantry for the Skaven, I see some Slave Spears on the flanks. A couple of Storm Vermin with Sword and Shields. Actually, probably a solid choice versus a Norska. And then we got some Plague Monks behind. So definitely do like the choice. A couple of Poison Wind Globadiers. And then some more Skaven Slave Spears, some Warp Fire Throwers in the back, and then we've got Lord Skrolk and a Hell Pit Abomination right in the center. So, decent amount of anti-large in this army too, and the Frostworm is taking a beating. I'm not sure how well Berserkers are due. The ship ability off of Wulfrik here, hitting this Storm Vermin pretty well. But Wulfrik's going to get tangled up with a Hell Pit Abomination, and I don't really think that's what he wants to do. So Liber Bubonicus hits him. The Storm Vermin should hold the line decently against the Berserkers, but it is a lot of Berserkers, and they do have a bonus versus infantry. Here comes the Plague Monks. Nice hits by the Warp Fire Throwers. Very good damage there, even just for a single volley. But if these Marauders get through and chase those off, it's going to be bad. These Slave Spears need to get over here and protect these Warp Fire Throwers. And right here, the Berserkers able to punch their way through the Storm Vermin. But the Hell Pit Abomination firmly holding the center. Skrolk is summoning them up. More rats. The Frostworm is taken out before it does anything productive. The Javelins are sitting back. Wulfrik is sitting back. Let's just see what happens here. The Warp Fire Throwers are in defensive mode, but they're not being skirmished away right now. Oh, hold on. Something popped up on the screen, took me out of game. Anyway, these Plague Monks and Marauder Berserkers still duking it out. The Plague Monks doing okay. The Hell Pit Abomination is taking a lot of Javelin volleys. So I guess happy Javelin Day. Norska's back. Ooh, there's a burning head. This is going to be from the Norskan player, and it's going to cause quite a bit of damage here against the Plague Monks. May actually swing that fight. See what's going on back over here. So the Skaven getting a bless with filth. That burning head almost took out a few of his own Marauders there, but not quite. These Javelin men could be problems, and some of the Storm Vermin have regrouped. There's still some Poison Wind Globadiers. The Hell Pit Abomination is actually retreating, being chased by the Brutes of the Hound, which is a Marauder Berserker Regiment of Renown. This is a pretty close fight right now. Wulfrik has taken a pretty decent amount of damage back there. Here comes his ship ability again. Not going to do too much. Some more Storm Vermin have regrouped back here. And these Storm Vermin that regrouped have already left the battlefield. So we still got Plague Monks and Skaven Slave Spears holding out against a few Berserkers and Marauders. And at this point, the Javelins are moving up and starting to put some Javelins on Skrolk himself. Poison Wind Globadiers still alive, trying to do a little work here. The Skaven player is going to be in retreat, but Skrolk is actually not an easy target. The Hunter of Champions is going to help here. It's going to take away a lot of defense and armor. I don't know how much armor Skrolk has to begin with, though. That sword was a nice ability for him there, but you can see that Wulfrik forced to flee at this point, and the summoned clan rats are going to get right into these Javelin men. So the Skaven's going to be in a pretty good position here to beat back some of these Javelin men. So should be able to do a pretty decent job there. Like I said, Skrolk is still in good shape. He's pretty healthy, and Norska's not going to have an easy time with that. Wulfrik, on the other hand, is about to rout, trying to take out a few Plague Monks, so he's not in a happy place right now. There's still some Poison Wind Globadiers back here. These ones have been caught by some Marauders. Stand your ground. Then over here we've got the Rod of Corruption, so that's going to be a nice way to get rid of some of these Brutes of the Hound. It's a tough unit. Taking it out of the fight will be very helpful. The Summoned Clan Rats are going to rout. Didn't do too much damage to the Berserkers. They only did a little bit. Wulfrik is routing as well. Again, at this point, kind of looks like the Norscan army in terms of the power bar says it has an advantage, but again, I'm not sure I see it because Skrolk is going to be a tank here. It depends on what kind of magic and abilities he has left. There's a Burning Head here. It's going to get into these Skaven Slave Spears. Definitely going to do a little damage. It's going to go ahead and roll through these Storm Vermin as well. Might damage the Marauders just a little bit across there. Probably not a lot. The Shaman Sorcerer, though, now is going to get engaged by Skrolk, and I don't imagine that a Shaman Sorcerer is going to end up lasting that long in this kind of fight. Look at the filthy rats everywhere here. Javelin's still coming in, though. Shaman Sorcerer quickly gives way to Skrolk, who is fighting his way from behind, actually, right now, and a pretty impressive comeback it's been. Though back here, a Warlock Engineer going to go down to these Berserkers. Marauder Berserkers are very good against low armor, and that makes them a fairly solid choice against Skaven. Check out these Storm Vermin getting engaged with these Marauders. Man, this game looks good. So those Marauders are going to get taken out. The Skaven Slave Spear regroups, but again, that's a summon unit, so it's degrading. You can tell by the coloring around it. Same thing here, that one's degrading. These Javelins are out of ammo. There's a few Berserkers that have regrouped, a few Javelins in the background, but not exactly sure where these Javelin men are going. They've got an attack order on these fleeing Plague Monks, so that's a miss micro on the part of Norska here. These few Skaven Slave Spears gonna engage these Marauders, and there's help coming from over here with 2 Storm Vermin, which in the late game here, if the Storm Vermin can hold their leadership together, they'll be a decent unit, decent armor and a shield for defense. Let you all see this here. Those Marauders are gonna get taken out. And here comes a surprise out of the woods. Must have been forgotten about earlier, but it's a Norscan Wolves, a couple of units of them, Norscan Warhounds. But they're going to come out and almost immediately lose all of their leadership. They just did not have the leadership to be engaged in that fight. Check out all these Norscan Warhounds. Came out a little bit too late, and Wulfrik had to be around there. That looked like his spell. Oh yeah, it was his ability. So Wulfrik's still alive in the background. We got a summoned clan rat here. And Skrolk continues to fight his way through this. And that's going to be the shatter on Wulfrik the Wanderer. Let's just see what's left here. Not much. There's a few Marauder Berserkers, but if they can hold their leadership together or just go berserk, the few Marauder Berserkers that are left could actually cause some damage. The Norscan player has definitely had some miss micro here that's cost him fairly big. The Warhounds come back for more. They find a Poison Wind Globadier, and then they're going to combine on the Warlock Engineer and then run away whenever they get faced with the Storm Vermin. Let's see what the Norska player decides to do here. If he regroups his forces effectively, then he's got a fighting chance. I don't know that I'd say it's good because he has to have a way to get rid of Skrolk. And there's some of these Skaven units now gone, and there's Javelins left on the battlefield. So I could see easily here that if Norska plays their cards right, they should be able to clear out the enemy infantry, which if I was Norska, that's what I would be trying to do. Here comes some Marauder Berserkers. They're just going to get overwhelmed here. The Norskan Warhounds are going to come in from behind. Guess I was just expecting Ice Wolves. And all these units are going to take a beating. Too early from Norska there, too early. Wasn't really ready to take that fight. Let's see here. These Javelins, again, decent ammo. Fair few of them left. These Javelins still have some ammunition. Let's see what happens. Gets too close and goes into melee rather than throwing the Javelin. Now he's going to run off. But the rear charge there might break his leadership. There's still some units on the field for Norska, but I don't see how he overcomes Skrolk. Let's fast forward and see what happens here. See if the oh, that summoned unit is going to get all over those Marauder Javelins. Let's see what happens here. These Marauder Javelins get back into range, do a little bit of damage, and then they're going to run away. The question is whether they can outpace these rats, and at this point it doesn't look like they can. So the Warhounds were trying to pounce on Skrolk or his support units. Some more Javelinmen came back. The clan rats break, and that leaves Skrolk alone to face all the remaining Norskan units. Yeah, the Rod of Corruption was going on, so the Norskan player made a mistake by not just running away from Skrolk. So let's just see here. So it ends up being just Skrolk. There is some Javelin ammo left. It's not a lot, and I don't think it's enough to kill Skrolk. So I'm pretty sure he can take this battle. See the random javelins being thrown at him, but Skrolk completely unaffected by Norska and their meager showing of javelins here. So he is the last rat standing. He's gonna get surrounded, but I think it's unlikely that he gets defeated by the northern rabble here that's left in the form of Norska. I just don't think these guys are going to have what it takes to get the job done. Norska and Skaven, a match I haven't gotten to watch yet, and it was an interesting one. I think the Norska player definitely made a fair few mistakes. Actually, this is going to end up being closer than I thought. Much closer than I thought. Right there at the end was Skrolk wavering, but he managed to pull it off. So, kind of turned out the way I thought it would there at the end. But, good match by Northbane and Lewis James Liverpool. Thanks for the matchup, guys. Again, there was probably some micro mistakes from Norska that might have been able to help them keep up on that. Keeping the Frostworm back or out of the range of the cannons for long enough to get the wolves around the flank. So I think Norska actually had the right tools here. Or sorry, I keep saying the wolves, the warhounds. If these would have been properly run through the forest background into the warp lightning cannons while the engagement went elsewhere, I actually think Norska takes this one home fairly handily. Especially if that Frostworm was able to do the damage that it needed to. But very nice use of Skrolk. He got a bunch of kills. And way to keep fighting with the Skaven army, even though it didn't look like for a while there that he had a great chance. And he managed to fight his way back into it. So, again, good game to both players. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.